BBC Three Counties Radio.
Right then, have you ever thought about or tried to lose weight? Well, would you go to the extremes of having an operation or even getting a gastric band fitted in order to shed some pounds? Well, one well-known lady, celebrity Anne Diamond, did just that. You know, she brought her weight loss to the forefront earlier this year when she took part in Celebrity Fit Club, and I'm pleased to say she joins us this morning along with her surgeon, Shaw Summers. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. And the gastric band, it's a bit extreme, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not to shed some pounds, you see, as you said. It's to shed a real health problem. You wouldn't get this operation if you weren't very, very overweight, actually obese, clinically obese. And it isn't just a sort of one of these whimsical things that a woman can just do to get rid of a few pounds and get into a nice dress by Christmas. This is about losing stones, not pounds, and sometimes many, many stones. And it's also about getting your life back. It's about getting your health back. We're talking about people who are on the verge of all of what they call the comorbidities of obesity, people who could be suffering from diabetes. They're certainly increasing their risk of heart disease and stroke and things like that. So this is a real serious option. This isn't just a little thing.
How much did you lose then?
I've lost 4 stones, but I haven't got all the way there yet. I've lost 5 dress sizes, 1 more by Christmas with any luck.
Fantastic. How does it make you feel?
Oh, healthy is the answer. I mean, great. I mean, I'm a woman. I like going clothes shopping. It's nice wearing lovely clothes. It's nice catching yourself in the mirror and looking good. But the most important thing, and this is why I did it, is because I was on the verge of those things. If I'd carried on dieting, losing a bit of weight and then always putting on more, I would have ended up very, very fat. I would have ended up probably with diabetes, high blood pressure, and all of those other things. And I want to be around to see my kids grow up. It's that important.
It came to the forefront, I think, really, when you took part in Celebrity Fit Club earlier this year, and you did take a bit of a stick for it, really, didn't you, off your fellow contestants that also took part in the programme?
Well, only because they didn't understand, frankly. I'd had the gastric band operation in Belgium about 4 months before, and it hadn't worked, and I'd given up on it. I didn't understand it. I hadn't researched it completely enough before having the operation. I didn't understand why it might not be working for me, and I'd given up on it by the time Celebrity Fit Club came along. I thought, that's the only way I'm going to lose weight. Go on television and do it. And then some very kind person who had apparently seen me in the Belgian hospital rang up in Sunday newspapers and blew my little story.
Nice.
Yeah, lovely of them, wasn't it? Whoever it is. Thank you. And but actually, funnily enough, one of the great things about that, because of all the fuss that happened, I got a phone call from a lady called Donna Ross, who works with the hospital group here, and they are British experts in this. They do gastric banding all the time and have huge successes. And she said, I can't understand why it's not working for you. Do you want to come along and meet some of our experts, and we'll try and figure out why it's not working for you? And I had an X-ray, and the X-ray showed that the blinking thing had been put in the wrong place.
Which might stop it from working.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll come to you, speak to you on this one. How does it actually work? Bearing in time the time of the day here, I don't want to make our listeners too squeamish this morning, so give us a rundown of the operation and what exactly it involves.
Good morning. Fine. I certainly don't want anyone choking on their shreddies while they're listening to this. Basically, the band is supposed to work like putting a little rubber ring round the top of the stomach, so food goes down the gullet into a little pouch at the top of the stomach, which it has to squeeze through before it goes on through the rest of the digestion. And going into that pouch makes the food build up more quickly than if it was in the stomach, so that you have a full feeling that lasts for a reasonable while, between half an hour and an hour.
So really, you're cheating your body by not making it think it's as hungry as what it is.
Well, it's not quite cheating the hunger. What happens is you just feel full very quickly, and that lasts for a variable amount of time, and it slows your eating down. So if you try and wolf down a sausage roll, it gets stuck. So you have to chew it, you have to eat little bits at a time. And in that way, you just eat less, because instead of taking 10 minutes to finish off a plate of food, it will take you an hour, by which time it's gone cold and everyone else has packed up and gone away. So you do end up eating less. However, it has to be put in the right place so that you've got this little stomach pouch. If, as in Anne's case, it's put in slightly the wrong place, and the difference is only about an inch in position, and it's around the bottom of the gullet, all you get is a pain on swallowing. which is not the same as having a feeling of fullness after food.
Well, let's test that now. And what were you eating before you had the band fitted, and what are you eating nowadays?
Do you know, if I look back, I've always been a volume eater. I was a child who always went back for second helpings. In fact, you know, I'm famous for it. My family and my then husband's family always used to comment out, you know, oh, it's lovely feeding Anne because she'll always come back for seconds. And I just think I always ate well, but I ate in volume. I'm a vegetarian. I really watch my intake of food. I've always been into organics and stuff like that. It's not that I wasn't eating healthily. I was just eating so much. I would, and also when you're cooking for the kids, I will eat a meal while I'm cooking a meal. Then I will sit down and eat it with them, and then I will eat what they haven't eaten. So I would eat 3 meals for every meal.
So what are you going to?
And then when I get them into bed at night, I will then think, right, this is me time, and I'd cook myself some enormous mushroom risotto or something, like a mountain of food. And I loved that feeling of me sitting down the television, a nice good movie, mountain of food, and cramming it in. I don't know. I actually think now it wasn't so much the food I loved as the actual action of stuffing myself. Now, when I was very, very active and younger and on television, I had the daily discipline of getting into those sort of clothes. Maybe then I could control my weight more. Doing radio, living in the kitchen, being a mother of 4, having gone through 5 pregnancies, 5 childbirths, I think your metabolism changes, and fat just happened to me.
Give us an example then. What will you have for breakfast this morning?
I haven't had breakfast yet, but I'll probably have half a small bowl of cereal.
That's
and
it.
maybe a quarter of a banana.
What did you used to have for breakfast?
Oh, a couple of bowls of cereal and some toast, and probably a couple of croissants.
Do you think once the
Mind
band's...
you, I have always worked in breakfast broadcasting.
Do you think once the band's removed, you'll be able to just...
No, the band won't be removed.
Oh, it's always kept in?
Probably, yes. Until they invent something that's more, you know, until they invent something that warrants replacing it, it'll be in. There's no need to have it taken out. I'm sure we'll tell you about... A lot of people say that. Well, it is removable. It is replaceable. But at the moment, there's no real need to do that.
They're designed to stay in for life, and they're designed to work for life. If you take them away, people do tend to creep back to their old habits, I'm afraid.
Would you, Anne, recommend it to other people, or is it really the last chance, you know, the final thing? Try everything else first and then give this a go.
Oh, absolutely. It would never be something you'd recommend first off. It has to be something that... obviously, you're going for surgery, and it is a general anaesthetic, even though it's keyhole surgery, and it's a fairly simple... I must say, you recover from it very quickly, and it starts to work very quickly. But, no, I'd never recommend it as a first off, but it's for people whose health, I think, is seriously at risk. You wouldn't get it without a BMI of over...
35.
Yeah, so you have to be seriously obese. Your health is therefore seriously at risk. You have to have been there and tried everything else.
Is it free or does it cost?
Well, you can get it done on the NHS, depending on where you live.
It costs, didn't it, Anne?
And then it does cost if you want to do it privately, yes, and it costs a lot more if you don't research it properly and get a proper surgeon to do the job properly.
What price range are you looking at?
Well, in Britain you're looking between about £6,000 and £7,000 privately. But it's done a lot on the National Health Service, isn't it?
Yeah, it's increasingly so. I think now people realise that helping people lose a lot of weight actually saves money rather than costs it.
But that's why I decided to write about it, you see, because people knew I'd had it done, and now people are watching me walk around much slimmer, and they think that it's the Belgian operation that has done the trick. And I had to tell people what my story was. It doesn't mean that all operations abroad are going to be botched, but mine, I feel, was.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Anne Diamond there, celebrity Anne Diamond, who's lost, over 4 stone and has still got more to go, and also our surgeon, Shaw Summers.